Hello and welcome to a look at SWAT for the Commodore 64, a game that was developed by Sculptured Software and released by Mastertronic. The scenario behind this game is that in 1999 Los Angeles, various different gangs has taken civilians hostage. And of course that is a very naughty thing to do and is not recommended. But someone has to do something about it, and that someone just happens to be you. Don't you feel lucky? You are given control of a team of SWAT members, and your task is to go through the mean streets of Los Angeles, swatting bad guys as they come towards you, and try to avoid killing civilians, because that is not a particularly clever thing to do. Obviously, you don't necessarily want the bad guys to kill your men either, because that is not particularly healthy. So, as you move up the street, you will have to defeat bad guys coming down towards you or approaching you from the side streets. Being the leader of a three-man team, you are in the lucky position of being the main focus point of every enemy's attention. The other team members are just there for show. They are not going to help you, assist you, support you, or do anything else but just following along, waiting for you to die so they can take your spot and get themselves killed. The various different enemies you will face, most of them they just run towards you and try to clobber you to death. But some of them will be equipped with hand grenades that they will quite liberally throw at you, and if they hit you, you lose your leader of your SWAT team, of course. But they are not friendly grenades, so they will also from time to time kill bad guys, and sometimes the grenade thrower will even manage to kill themselves, which is entertaining at a certain level. Once you have pushed far enough along the street, you will be facing a wave of gang members who are quite cooperative in their behavior, and you can basically stand still and gun them down like nobody's business. But then the gang leader will show up holding a hostage, and of course, to make things challenging, he will be running back and forth while holding on to the hostage, meaning that you have to time your shot quite precisely in order to kill the bad guy instead of killing the hostage. And if you take too long to do anything, he will run off killing the hostage and you will get a negative score. Let's talk technical stuff. From a graphical point of view, I think it's fair to say that this game is relatively basic. The buildings and cars and the roads themselves, or streets themselves, whatever you call them, it's quite bare bone, to say the least. But the SWAT members and the gang members and the civilians, for that matter, looks decent. It's not exactly spectacular looking graphics, but it's fairly decent for the price tag attached to this game, of course, because it is a cheap range game. So in the UK that would have been priced at £1.99. What is more surprising from a graphical point of view is it's not epic animation, but the fact that there's actually been put some effort into making both the movement of the bad guys and the SWAT members, but also, of course, the fact that when you shoot a bad guy, he doesn't just disappear. No, he falls over and whatnot, and the clobbering of the SWAT leader can be quite painful to watch. The sound design, the sound effects are nothing special. You have bang bang sounds when you shoot, and you have bigger bang bang sounds when the enemies are throwing grenades, and that's about it for the sound effects. The music, it's a bit too monotone for my liking, but I suppose having anything running in the background while you're playing a game is acceptable, I suppose. But I mean, it's not going to get you excited, it's not going to get you immersed, to use a naughty little buzzword, but it suits the game, it fits the game. Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, I don't hate it, yeah, it is, what can I say. The controls, they are exactly what you want them to be. Left, right, up, down will move you left, right, up, and down, and using the fire button will cause you to shoot. If you hold on the fire button, your SWAT member or leader thing will fire continuously, and you can actually pivot him while he's doing continuous fire. So if you come up towards the end of the current level, like we are right now, you can just hold on the fire button and pivot around and kill all the very, very cooperative bad guys. The controls are very responsive. I really like the fact that when I have an enemy chasing me in a game, and I can flick back and shoot that enemy and flick back around to what I was doing before, and you can barely tell that the character's turned, but the game has still registered the turn. This is something that I find very, very satisfying. It feels good and it looks good. SWAT, of course, is short for Special Weapons and Tactics, and is essentially a police unit using military-grade equipment and tactics in order to take down bad guys. And you could easily argue that this game doesn't particularly reflect what the title of the game might imply. It is, from a gameplay perspective, relatively simple. But relatively simple doesn't necessarily mean bad, and as you progress through the levels, if you manage to do so, the amount of enemies the game starts throwing at you can become quite intense, and it gives some basic level of excitement. But something to consider is that the last game I covered on the channel for the Commodore 64 was Ikari 3 by SNK. An arcade conversion. I nearly called it an arcane conversion, but I mean, I suppose it was magical in its own way. But that game would have been released at a cost which was 6, 7, 8 times higher than this game. And in all honesty, I think personally that this title looks better and sounds better and plays better than Ikari 3. So just because something is cheap doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. So on that note, I'm going to say thanks for watching and take care. See you next time. Bye bye.